Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is my assistant Hashim.
Yes.
Hashim made his first appearance, I think, on Yaqeen behind the scenes video accidentally, or it was uninvited at first appearance, and now he's coming on in invited capacity. Hashim, you're doing this in the Hatam video معايا?
Yes, and I'm gonna hug you.
Oh, كويس. Okay.
I'm hugging you because I want to be in the video.
Okay, good. That's a good approach. هذا فكرة جيدة. Okay, so my name is Jonathan Brown, and I'm talking to you about the Yaqeen article on it's called "Inverting the Gaze" on the history of the Western historical critical method, and this is this is actually an excerpt from my book on Hadith, the new edition, the second edition, and I added a lot more in this section. I added a lot more to the original chapter to make it a really, I think, a full history of the Western historical critical method. And what that means is it's a history of, if someone says, okay, today when we talk about religion or we talk about scripture or history, we think about kind of history following certain rules. So religions, if someone comes and says there was a miracle and Jesus walked on the water, or Jesus multiplied loaves of bread, or the Bible comes from this time, people have sort of an automatic suspicion of stories of miracles. People have automatic suspicion about religious authorities making claims and about the origin of scriptures or things like that. So I wanted to explain where this comes from. Where does it come from? And why is it that we today in the modern global West think about the history of religions and the history of religious traditions and the way history of human societies in general function? I want to look at where the origins of this approach come from and show how they come out of a very specific experience of Western European society and Western European Christianity and kind of the post-Christian West. And so the reason why I think this is very important is because if you don't understand that this view of the world has its own history and its own origins, and it's not necessarily the way... Okay, yeah, and it's not necessarily why human beings don't have to think this way. If you don't know that, then you'll assume this is the natural way for us to think about history and the development of societies.
No more. Let's play together.
Okay, but I'm almost done. Okay?
Do
تقريبا
one more.
أنا قريبا خلصته بس ثانية واحدة. So by reading this and by seeing this, not just Muslims but people in general can understand that this view of the world has its own history and its own blind spots. Its own blind spots. So and I think that's very useful for Muslims if they're considering kind of the reliability of the Hadith tradition or the history of the early Islamic tradition in general. So I recommend reading it, and I added an introduction, of course, and it's online and should be useful. So I hope you'll like it, and I'm sorry that my assistant here was not as helpful as he could have been. Okay, assalamu alaikum.